Hi there, everyone. My name is Jonathan Fuller. I'm the Assistant Director of Residence Life and Housing, here to walk you through submitting your housing application on eResLife. Whether you're planning to be a residential or non-residential student for the coming year, this application process will be pretty similar, and we need everyone on campus, every student, to complete a residential or non-residential application. So when you log into eResLife, this is a training site, but the website is normally rmc.ereslife.com, or you can access that from the internet. Your homepage should look something like this. And when you're ready to submit your housing application, you should have a recommended action here that looks just like this that says apply for housing. When you click on that, you should see two options. And again, appropriately, that non-residential or that residential option should be available for you. I've started my residential application since we're going to walk through it together, but you can look at this green button on the right side. This will appear for both options, and you just click the application that you want to start. So we're going to take a look in more detail at the housing application and talk a little bit about the non-residential application a little later. Essentially, for the residential application, you're going to be submitting answers to a number of questions that will help factor in the best decision about matching you with a roommate. You may have a roommate in mind for your housing application and for your housing for next year, and that's great. We still ask everyone the same questions, just in case something were to happen during the year, in the event that you needed to be matched up with someone else as a roommate. We want to make sure we have that information available. So you start off by answering questions like, are you playing a varsity sport at RMC? And then have a number of questions that describe your living environment. So let's take this first one, for example. Which statement best describes how you'd like your room? So you have a few options here about how clean or unclean or whatever it is that you're comfortable with that you'd like your room to be. You select your own preference, and then you can rank your preferences for what your ideal roommate would answer in their own housing application. And if you were matched up using our roommate algorithm, we would be able to prioritize these kinds of matches to make a good pairing as best as we can. So you have a number of questions like this about your sleeping environment, your schedule, all these sorts of things that we ask you to answer and submit preferences for your roommate's answer. In a similar vein and some similar questions, we have some questions about inclusion, making sure that we have spaces that are comfortable and welcoming for all of our students. We wanted to make sure that everyone had the opportunity to respond honestly, and we encourage folks to do so throughout this entire application. An honest answer is always going to be best to ensure that a good roommate match is made regardless. And even if you have a roommate in mind, these good answers will be helpful in the long run too. At the bottom of the application, we have some information and agreements. We do reference the housing contract. I'll show you where that is on the next page. You can also access it through the resources menu, which if I scroll back up here, you have this resources tab right here. You can access the housing contract through that option in addition to it being built into this application. Some information about that, some information about meal plans here that you want to make sure you're aware of as you go into the selection period over the course of the summer after housing selection occurs, and then some agreements. You want to make sure you agree to these statements and agree to the student code of conduct as you do every year as a student. And essentially, that's the end of the application. Once you finish this whole page, you continue to confirm the application. You have a couple of more check boxes that you need to affirm, including what's labeled here as the enclosed terms and conditions file. But clicking here will simply bring you to the housing contract. This document is here and ready for your review. Submitting your application indicates that you're also agreeing to the entire housing contract for the upcoming year. Once you're finished with that, all you have to do is hit submit application. You should receive a confirmation. You'll also get a confirmation sent to your RMC email address. So thanks so much for tuning into this quick video about submitting your housing application. For those of you who are looking at a non-residential application, it really will be a pretty similar process. The form's a bit shorter, and you essentially just have to confirm your commuting address for the upcoming year. Again, thanks for checking out this video. Stay tuned for others about other parts of the housing selection process.